Get in, loser. We're going podcasting.
Rock on. You can unlock the door first.
Maybe.
Warning. Pregnant women, the elderly, and children under 16 should avoid prolonged exposure to Dirt Diggler. Dirt Diggler may suddenly accelerate to dangerous speeds. Dirt Diggler has high gluten content and is not kosher, halal, or vegan safe. Do not ingest Dirt Diggler, as Dirt Diggler is for external use only. Discontinue listening to Dirt Diggler if any of the following occurs: itching, vertigo, dizziness, discoloration of urine, tingling in extremities, loss of balance or coordination, slurred speech, temporary blindness, profuse sweating, heart palpitations, increased use of profanity. If listening to Dirt Diggler gives you an erection lasting longer than 4 hours, you're welcome. Listening to Dirt Diggler may lead to unplanned pregnancies. If Dirt Diggler begins to smoke, get away immediately. Seek shelter and cover head. Dirt Diggler may stick to certain types of skin. When not in use, Dirt Diggler should be returned to a special container and kept under refrigeration. The ingredients of Dirt Diggler include, but are not limited to, a glowing substance which fell to the earth, presumably from outer space, and bad memories. Do not taunt Dirt Diggler. Dirt Diggler does not come with a lifetime guarantee. Dirt Diggler. Enjoy the show.
Extra heat.
All right, what's going on? It is the Dirt Diggler, the dirtiest Diggler to ever Diggler for Dirt Cut Diggler.
right.
And with
That's
me, as
right.
always, I have...
Kenny the Dork, the most unapologetic New Englander you know.
That's a really tough title to claim, man. There's people I won't even talk to that are New England fans.
I understand that, but I'm unapologetically New England because that's who I am, and that's who I care about.
Understood. I can get down with that. You know, you're tolerable. You're actually a joy to be around, surprisingly.
Yeah, I mean, contrast that with 12 years ago. I was obnoxious.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah.
So, speaking of obnoxious, all right, so full disclosure, last week's show, we did our best to try to call a game while putting in the week prior show into the show, and what it ended up with being was a very disjointed, hard-to-follow show because we're talking about something, and then something happens in the field, and it's just a giant squirrel fest. You know, remember
Yeah.
the show Up, where the dogs are like, squirrel, and they just fucking like lose track? That was us with the football game, which the Eagles won, haha. But we're getting into that.
I sat through an Eagles game for science.
He did, and we drank some terrible beers for
good
you all.
God.
Yeah,
I don't know which was harder, watching the Washington professional football team or drinking all of those shitty beers.
dude, those beers were terrible.
But so were the Washington professional football players.
Oh, indeed they were.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right,
That's
so
right. Crap on them.
yeah, Gianni will not be on the show today. She has business to attend to that is more important than sitting here running her jibs with a couple other drunken idiots. So, yeah. So good luck, Gianni, with whatever it is you're doing today. We miss you, and we'll have you back on next week. We're going to talk about some heavy shit next week. But
yeah.
So let's go over today's schedule. We're going to talk about baseball happenings. Baseball is getting closer to playoffs, and we're going to discuss
Best time of the year for baseball.
yeah, if you watch baseball, which I don't suggest you do, but if you choose to watch baseball, right about now is when you want to start giving a fuck about baseball because it's a long slog of a season. It really is. But now it gets interesting because now you start jockeying for that playoff seeding, playoff entry, things like that. So
Yep.
Kenny's got some information on that. We're going to go over what happened in week 1. As well as the Thursday game that we for week 2, that first Thursday game, which was
An abomination.
fucking. You know what? Okay.
Thursday
all right.
games in general.
Well, I mean, I know how they could fix them.
Yeah.
I do. I know how they could fix them, and we'll talk about it. All right. I've said it before. I'll just reiterate how I think the NFL could unfuck Thursday games.
Yeah.
We're gonna go over week 2 uneducated predictions. Right. So last season, when I was flying solo, we did the uneducated predictions for each week, where I just kind of what I guess is going to happen, right? Except I'm not making it seem like I do all kinds of metrics and shit. I just go, I think these guys are going to do this. And that's what I put down. Like, there's no math involved at all.
Shooting from the hip is fun.
It is. We don't fact check. So
No, we don't.
Oh, yeah. So, and as always, the shitty beer of the week and the hot takes of the week. So
We got a particularly good one.
yeah, we do. We've been putting this one off for this week for a while, and I think it's time that we just embrace this. You know, because as we were saying, baseball is getting closer to playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? Baseball is considered the American classic, and this beer that we're going to be having later on today is also considered to be an American classic for some
But
reason.
I'm not wearing a man bun while I drink it.
No, I'm not wearing flannel. I do have a beard, though. The beard I have. All right, so, Kenny, you want to get into the baseball happenings, man? Go ahead, kick it off.
Well, all right. So we're coming down the stretch. You know, September 1st, the roster's expanded to 40. We got a couple of crazy trades like the Astros acquiring Justin Verlander from the Tigers.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
During the non-waiver deadline. Well, actually, no, the waiver deadline. They have the non-waiver deadline in July, and then in August they have you got to pass through waivers, and then we can trade you deadline.
Dude, baseball's got so many different fucking rule sets and bylaws that it's ridiculous.
I know. It's confusing, but basically, long story short, Justin Verlander got traded from the Tigers to the Astros.
That's an insane trade.
Yeah, and it really wrecks a shitty hot take I had a couple of months ago.
But hey, it's what it is. Like,
yeah.
I was pretty close for my hot take.
Oh, yeah. Your last hot take that didn't make air? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, did you hear about the Cleveland Indians winning 22 games in a row?
I couldn't help but hear about it because I live on this earth in this country, so I had to hear from some fucking
did you hear they lost last night?
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
So happy.
Actually, Terry Francona, the manager of the Indians, is also pretty happy because now he can start focusing on the playoffs instead of keeping the pressure to keep that streak going.
Yeah.
Because they got within 4 of the Major League record.
Streaks are cool. Like, when Golden State came out a couple years ago and was like, won their first 24 games or some state. I mean, it was like, all right, well, some of these games are barely winning, and at some point you go, all right, how much of these guys going to risk for the record?
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Golden State and records, you know who has a winning record or a winning streak at Golden State? The only team in the NBA?
I'm going to guess the Celtics.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
zing.
All right. So yeah, you were saying.
It wasn't so much that they were winning consecutive games as the way they were doing it, and they were dominant. Great starting pitching, not just great starting pitching, dominant, like starters going 8 innings every night almost.
That's 8 innings is a lot. Well, if you're crushing batters, and you're not throwing a lot of pitches, you can definitely go 8 or 9 innings.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're having to pitch innings where you get hits and throwing a lot of fouls and
and not only that, but when the Cleveland bullpen had to step in, lights out. The Cleveland staff ERA during this winning streak was like 1.8, 1.89.
That's damn.
Yeah, that's really good
for
the whole winning streak.
Nice. Well,
they had not lost since August 23rd against the Red Sox.
Good defense, good offense to win you games.
Yeah, and not only that, the run differential was the big thing they thumped on too. 5 runs a game they were winning these games by.
They
only had to come down to their last at bat or their last strike during the last win of the streak.
Eventually, they wear down.
Yeah. Well, when they extended it to 22, that was the last time they had to come from. That was the only time they had to come from behind.
The thing about baseball, which I've always found interesting, is that in comparison to football, is you don't really have to go and study tape so much. No. Like you have pitchers, and they have their tendencies, and batters who have their tendencies. But for the most part, that's really the only battle there is between the pitcher and the batter. Everyone else just kind of does what they do.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do research on how a guy plays left field because you don't have the ability to really put a good professional pitcher's pitch exactly on the field where you want it most times.
Yeah.
You have oh my God, what's his damn name? Ichiro Suzuki. He's one of those guys who had amazing control of where the ball was going to go. Yeah. But he's a rarity. So most players, they can't put a ball right in that cushion. They are happy to just catch the ball.
Yeah, well, he's also the unofficial hit king of baseball. Period.
You know what's funny is he played pro in Japan for a number of years before he crossed over into America.
And that's why he's the unofficial hit king.
So this is one of the things. We talk about these records in baseball. Baseball is since it's such an old sport in America, and we start looking at these greats. You had to look at these old Negro League players, and that weren't allowed to play Major League Baseball because of segregation and all the other bullshit.
Satchel Pages and the Josh Wilsons.
And all the shit. Yeah, you look at some of these Negro League greats, and it's like their entire existence is discounted because they weren't able to play in the Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
But they did play, and they were comparable, if not, some of them better than their counterparts in the Major League Baseball. So it's interesting when we look at someone like Ichiro, who crossed over from Japan, and whether or not we weigh those stats from Japan, or someone like Warren Moon, who was forced to play in the CFL in Canada because nobody felt he was worth drafting as a black quarterback back in the day, in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
Before he came over and made a Hall of Fame career in the United States. So it's just interesting how you look at these players and where they were before they came to the U.S. to play big league sports, or were allowed to play the big league sports if they were at all, and you try to weigh it. I hope the Hall of Fames collectively are able to do that in an intelligent manner to honor these guys and their contribution to their respective games, because the Negro League player was just as important as any other player that played baseball during that era. And Suzuki is he's a mainstay for years in this country. He's a huge thing in Japan. Warren Moon's a Hall of Famer,
and he's still getting it done in Miami.
Yeah, he's a boss. So yeah.
So anyway, moving on from that from the Indians' win streak, which was just amazing, and thank God it's over with. We talk about they're a juggernaut, and I'm just gonna take liberties with another juggernaut that kind of went off the rails. The Dodgers.
The Dodgers were killing it earlier this season.
They were 91-36.
We were talking about it. They were crushing everybody.
They're the only team I've ever seen that got to 50-something games over 500, and then also lost 16 out of 17 games.
Shit happens, man. Baseball's a game of streaks.
God, it was just. But the precipitous fall that they went through, that's just like, wow.
That's an SAT word you just used.
You're welcome.
I like that. Precipitous.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like. I mean, put it this way: 15 out of 16 games, they're the Cleveland Browns.
Well. Yeah, actually they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly the Cleveland Browns.
Exactly.
Last year's
Cleveland Browns. But they've rebounded. They've won 5 in a row now.
So good. And
they look like they're kind of getting back on an even keel, but they don't look like the clear-cut favorite to win it all. Okay.
The last thing you want to do is back into the playoffs.
And they're kind of righting the ship, and they're like where they're not too hot, but they're not too cold.
Right,
they're
you don't want to
right.
back into the playoffs because that shit carries over, and you see teams.
Yeah, but at the same time, you want to get your spot clinched and kind of set your rotation in order for the playoffs.
I got it. Baseball is a little different than the other sports. Like you don't want to go into the playoffs on a 3-game losing streak.
Well,
as a football player,
no,
right? You don't want to do that. It happens, and you end up losing.
Whereas in baseball, it's not that big a deal.
It's not that big a deal because you play so many games, and
not only that, but not only that, you don't want to be fighting down to the last weekend, like say the Red Sox and Yankees, just to guarantee either. But the thing with the Sox and Yanks, as we recap the races, is they're up 3 games on the Boston Red Sox are in first place by 3 games.
Yeah.
And they're going to be battling the Yanks down the stretch because neither one of them wants to be the wild card team.
So they got to scrap the entire way. So they got to play all the games.
Yeah, because the wild card game in Major League Baseball is a 1-game do or die, and after 162,
are you serious? Is a 1-game do or die?
Yeah, the 2 wild card teams.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's 1 game do or die.
Wow, that's
pretty intense, and you want to avoid that. So basically, the Red Sox and Yankees are fighting for the right to avoid hosting that 1-game do or die.
I feel you. That's a pretty prudent strategy.
And it looks like either the Twins or the Angels are going to be their opponent in that game.
Cool beans.
Yeah, and it's speaking of the Red Sox and Yankees, they both got slaps on the wrist from the commissioner for their little. You were using signals with Apple Watches, and you were using cameras or whatever.
Like that Apple Watch shit is mind-blowingly advanced.
That's awesome.
Holy shit! What a way to pie.
What's even worse is how Buster Olney went off from a soapbox on it. Like, it's wrong, and it should have been punished harder because they were cheating. And shut the fuck up.
You said last week that there was already a rule stating you can't use that kind of technology to steal signals.
Yeah, exactly. And I understand where you can say, they broke a rule.
Yeah.
And they manned up.
Yeah.
They took their punishment.
Yeah.
And so did New York.
Uh-huh.
But they're just a grandstand and soapbox about it at this point. Like, dude, the commissioners ruled on it. Shut the fuck up.
Well, of course they're going to grandstand and do all that. This is the Yankees and Red Sox. That's like what they do.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm talking more about Olney.
Either way.
It's that network.
That entire rivalry is steeped in hyperbole.
It is.
So...
And from a perspective of looking back 13 years to the summer of 2004, I can appreciate how it is hyperbolic.
So in other news, hey, Kenny, I don't know if you knew or were cognizant of it, but football is back.
It is. But I don't acknowledge it until the Red Sox are eliminated from the playoffs.
That's a weird way to go about things. You see,
I do that with all my teams. It's
fair
I don't follow the Celtics and Bruins until usually about the first week of February.
All right, that's fair.
Because
that's fair. Like I'll pay attention to the Phils.
Yeah,
but they're not doing shit right now.
Well, yeah, and it's the same way with the Red Sox in the spring. Once the Celtics and Bruins are eliminated, then I'll pay full attention to them.
All right, but football has started, sir. We've had some week 1 action.
It has been pretty interesting.
It's been interesting, right? So
it's like 2017 is Bizarro World.
It's a fucking weird year.
Those 3 top-rated passers was just what got me.
Yeah. So the Jags And the Bills and the Rams are on top of their divisions right now.
Alex Smith, Sam Bradford, and Jared Goff are the 3 highest-rated passers in the NFL.
They murdered their opposing defenses.
Destroyed
them. And I mean,
wow. And it wasn't even close.
The only one that you can look at and go, well, okay, was the one that Goff played in against the Colts because they were terrible.
And the Colts are going to do that with everybody.
Yeah, the Colts are going to be pretty shitty this year. But nice. But for Sammy Sleeves to come out there and hang up so many yards on the Saints, and for Alex Smith to play out of his mind against the Patriots in New England while they raised the banner was crazy.
Did you hear they tore out the turf from the field?
No way.
Yeah, the Patriots tore out the turf from the field after one game.
Lame. All right, so
it's too soft.
Let's talk about this. So allow me to reiterate for those who were not paying attention or didn't listen to last week's show. The Chiefs beat the Pats in Foxborough 42-27, right? And somehow we still all exist in the world. The world didn't end. Nothing terrible really happened in the grand scheme of things. So everybody calm the fuck down, right? Alex Smith, as we said earlier, played out of his fucking mind. A rookie running back on his first NFL carry fumbles the football and rebounds like I've never seen a player rebound before.
I know, he could have gone Roberto Aguirre.
Listen, he put up just about 250 fucking yards.
I know.
Nobody
expected that. It was amazing.
It was amazing.
It was impressive.
Kareem Hunt's a name now.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt was impressive.
Impressive, right?
I was impressed. I gave him his props. He earned it.
So we live in crazy times, but Kenny wanted to be sure to express a couple things to people.
All right, first off, calm your tits, especially you, young man.
Hey.
All right, so the Patriots are still going to win the AFC East. All right, it's 1 week. There's still a hell of a lot of goddamn football to be played.
I
agree. They play in the same division as the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Bills.
I agree. Now, the problem we have with that is the Dolphins haven't been quantified yet. We don't know what they look like with Jay Cutler, really, because they have their game
Jay.
Smoking Jay Cutler. Remember, don't vaccinate your kids.
But make sure he has Newports handy.
Make sure he's got... Yeah, so Kenny thinks he's more of a Newports guy. I personally feel that he's a Marlboro Menthol Lights guy. We both think he's a Menthols guy, but I think he's more of a Marlboro Menthol Lights guy, personally.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
a Camel Crush.
Camel Crush.
I was a Camel Crush smoker for 5-10 years.
You know what? He probably smokes hand rolls.
Yeah, you know what? He rolls his own.
He rolls his own.
Have you seen? Well, especially since the Dolphins have been out in California before the hurricane. Have you seen the price of cigarettes in California?
I haven't been to California, and I'm okay with that. I
haven't been to California in 3 months.
I was there when the lawsuit went through that held the tobacco companies liable, and I was a smoker at the time, and I watched the price skyrocket in California. New York though was out of control when it happened because New York already had high prices, so. It just got worse. Like
Connecticut wasn't much better.
York. Yeah, it's like $10 a pack in New York when in early aughts economy, So
yeah, well, I was paying $10 a pack up until about 3 months ago, and thank God I finally quit.
I'm glad you quit, man.
I am too because I'm tired of coughing.
Smoking's bad.
It is bad.
It's bad for you. Hear that, Jay Cutler? You need to quit smoking.
Quit smoking.
Quit smoking.
You're a fucking millionaire.
So the Jets lost to the Bills 21-12. As the Jets begin their march towards imperfection.
0-16.
So, yeah, fun fact, the Bills are on top of the AFC East right now, if you guys are curious about that. That's who's in charge. After 1 week, the Bills are on top. So
I enjoy that. I really want you to savor that.
Hey, no, listen. All right, there's only I only know one Bills fan, and that's Andre James. I think he's a Master Sergeant now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Hey, I hope you
here's
listen.
to you, bud.
Here's to you, buddy. Hold on. Let's get across the table.
Let's get across table.
Clinkety clink right there. Congratulations, Master Sergeant. Remember him as a sergeant.
I remember him as a sergeant, too.
We were sergeants together. So
we were all sergeants together.
We were. So, interesting.
Those were good times. My hazing.
He's the only Bills fan I know, really.
And he is a very proud Bills fan.
He's a proud Bills fan. He keeps it real, though. So, all right, quick question before we continue. So, God forbid, right? But if the Patriots lose to the Saints coming up, and start 0-2, what happens? What do you see happening? I'm curious as to what happens in the Boston sports radio because we know that's
oh, good Lord. Tune
terrible.
Into EEI because it'll be full-blown, the sky is falling, Chicken Little kind of shit. And we were talking about hyperbole with the Red Sox and Yankees.
Yeah.
Tune into WEEI at 6 a.m. Monday morning.
What about Sully from Southie? What's he going to be like?
Oh, Sully? Oh, dude, he's going to... That's going to be hilarious.
It's going to be the fun from Southie.
Yeah, Fitzy GFY.
Oh, God. Fitzy's going to be great.
Fitzy GFY on YouTube after every Patriots, game, but mostly after their losses.
Yeah. So, the Falcons game. The Falcons won a close one against the Bears, 23-17. And the game was much, much closer than any of us expected. We expected the Falcons to return to their dominant fashion offensively that they were last year.
Yeah.
We expected the Bears to be an absolute dumpster fire.
And they weren't.
But they weren't, right? So, one, I liked the Bears uniforms when they were wearing their all blue. That was really sharp. Yeah. I like the Bears. Hey, look, they need to wear those duds like that more often. That was really sharp. But two, if their receivers had hands worth of shit, they win that game.
Yeah.
3
drops on the goal line.
3 drops, 4. No, 3 drops and a sack.
Yeah. They had first and goal.
And 2 of those were definitely catchable.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, definitely catchable.
But one of the other takeaways I had from that Bears-Falcons game, Tariq Cohen. That man,
oh my God! So
that man's going to be a star.
Little running back for the Bears, not a big dude, but he was absolutely dominant in that game as a runner.
We don't miss Matt Forte in Chicago, apparently.
No, apparently we don't. But you got to draft smart, and
they did.
They got him. I mean,
aside from giving up all that draft capital to get Trubisky.
Yeah, that was all right. So the Trubisky pick isn't dumb. The trade up to get him is dumb. We will say that every week. We don't object to the pick. We object to the resources that went into the pick because it was totally unnecessary.
Exactly, because the 49ers were never taking him.
So the Bengals... So the Ravens blanked the Bungles in Cincinnati. The Bungles are exactly who we thought they were. They're terrible. I expect them to
Denny
be less
Green
terrible.
On this one.
I got Denny Green. But the couple things. The Ravens defense looks legit.
Yeah.
Right? It looked legit during preseason. It looks legit now. It's hard to gauge that when the Bengals look so futile on offense. They just fired their OC.
Yeah. Because they looked futile again on Thursday night.
They did.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, well, they did. And so I don't know. It's one of those things like, am I excited about XYZ? Of course I am, right?
Yeah,
but until they play another game.
Week 1's a small sample space.
Right. Until I get another game, I can't really weigh it one way or the other. Like, which team shows up? Teams change. They get better as the season goes on. Injuries happen. They get worse. It's interesting, but yeah, week 1 has provided a lot of surprises, and
like the Steelers and the Browns.
We were tracking that game during last week's show.
Yeah,
and the Browns were in that game.
Yeah, they were.
They were in that game. Now,
Deshaun Kaiser looked pretty solid.
You know what? Cleveland fans, Browns fans, you guys have a ray of hope there with Deshaun Kaiser. He could definitely be a future there for you guys.
Yeah, Hugh Jackson is your coach.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Well, you got to remember, Myles Garrett is still hurt. So they did that without having what could be one of the best edge rushers in the league.
The generational talent.
Yeah, so it's going to definitely get interesting as the season goes on for the Browns. Things are looking up. Give this team 2-3 years, and they're looking at a wild card spot.
Yeah, because Roethlisberger's going to retire.
He's going to retire. Who knows what's happening?
Flacco, who knows how he's going to hold up?
Flacco's out for a back surgery. He's
and Andy Dalton can't shine on the primetime stage.
Andy Dalton. Sorry. Andy Dalton is way overrated and overpaid.
Yeah, he is.
Period. He's actually a terrible quarterback. How many playoff games has he won?
How many has Marv won?
0.
Freeze, recruit, freeze.
Goddamn right. So yeah, but so either the Steelers are as high powered as we thought they were, or the Browns are better than we thought they were. Either way, like I said, week 1 is kind of hard to gauge where teams are. Teams are getting back into shape, so we're going to see. This is the first game that the starters played the entire game.
Yeah.
So we're going to see. But Kaiser looked good.
Yeah, he did.
Kaiser did look good.
Speaking of looking good,
the Lions. Holy shit! So Stafford's the highest paid player ever right now.
Yeah.
And
5-46 against winning teams.
The guy threw
6-46.
Yes, the guy threw how many touchdowns?
5, but one of them
was a pick 6, right? So he starts off with a pick 6, and then he promptly goes and puts up 4 more touchdowns against the Cardinals.
And makes a star out of Kenny Golladay.
Yeah, he did. And then you talk about Carson Palmer. At some point, he looked old. Carson Palmer's looked old for the last 2 or 3 seasons.
And really, it didn't help that he didn't have David Johnson.
No, David Johnson dislocated his wrist in that game.
Yeah.
He's done for the season.
Almost the whole season.
Yeah, he's done. Had to have surgery, so he may have to hang it up for the whole year.
They were so desperate they re-signed Chris Johnson.
Honestly, I think if they're smart, they'll shelf David Johnson because I don't think they're gonna. Fuck, the NFC West is so terrible though.
Seattle's gonna win that.
I can't say that. Seattle's offensive line is so terrible. Seattle's defense has to pull them through games. Their offense can't do it. Their offensive line can't protect Russell Wilson. There's a good chance he gets hurt.
Yeah, it's true.
He's pretty rugged for a little dude.
Yeah.
But you can only get hit by defensive ends and defensive tackles so much before something
Yeah, but
breaks.
how many of those? Arizona's probably the only terrifying defense in their division.
Well, yes and no. The offense still got to score points. And when
Yeah.
Carson Palmer's looking old and one of the best running backs in the league is out with a dislocated wrist,
Yeah.
I can't guarantee that.
Yeah,
You may win
Arizona-
games in your division, but outside the division, you're going to get smoked.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of getting smoked,
Yeah.
how about those Jaguars?
The Jaguars. So
Who you were really, really down on in
I shit on the Jaguars, but
I think you said the only reason people watch Jags games is because the meth lab got shut down.
Yeah. It's exactly what I said, and I stand by that statement. But you're going to win a game when you rack up 10 sacks against the opposing quarterback.
Yeah.
You're going to win that game. So,
And in a move that was really savage,
Tom Savage
got benched.
All he had to do was not be Bork Assweiler. All right, all he had to do was just not be Brock. Don't be Brock. And he shows up and does his best Brock Osweiler. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
So that meant Deshaun Watson got pressed into service a lot faster.
And he scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
Their only touchdown. And then they probably got to beating his ass.
Yeah, well, you were 5 of 17 for 55 yards.
He was underwhelming, but I think this whole team's going to be underwhelming.
Yeah.
The Texans, I'm not scared of their defense. I'm definitely not scared of their offense right now. And we may have had the Texans a bit too high coming into the season if they don't get their shit straight. Deshaun Watson could definitely do some
we
good
said
things.
7-9, 8-8.
I don't know. Like,
I don't know.
Their last two games, even the one they won.
Remember, they do get 2 games against the Colts.
They do.
They do.
They
Everybody in that division gets 2 games against the Colts.
Could we just abolish the AFC South altogether?
You know, I've thought about it, but you know why that was put? Like my theory was it was put together to guarantee that Peyton Manning got to the playoffs every year.
And he did for the most part.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
So, yeah.
the unknown quantities.
Yeah, the Bucks and the Finns had their game postponed due to Hurricane Irma, right? So there was a location in Pittsburgh that could have hosted that game.
Yep.
Location in Philly that could have hosted that game.
Yep.
There was locations all over the place that could have moved these guys to play. I get it for the Texans, right? The Texans, they had like the Hurricane was destroying Houston.
Yeah.
I get it. That preseason game against the Cowboys, totally get it. This
did-
one though, so you shaft these teams because what you do is you burn their bye week during this hurricane crisis in week 1. So now both of these teams have to play 16 straight games with no bye in between.
Yeah.
Right? You're handicapping these guys. And I really wonder who thought this was the best case scenario.
Yeah, and I really think it's going to handicap the Tampa Bay Bucks because we had them. I was riding high on them.
Well, here's the problem, right? I can see the logic of not wanting to host a game where neither team's the home game in a venue in another state. I get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to lose some money, but you're going to lose more money by fielding a shitty product later on in the season when they're making the playoff push. And you're already losing money, by the way, because the ratings are shit. Folks aren't coming to games.
Nope.
Did you see the stadium at halftime in the Niners game?
Oh my God.
There was like 3 people there.
Yeah, they all had to catch their Ubers.
Yeah, and it's like that across the league, and a lot of stadiums are not full right now. Mm-mm. A lot of stadiums aren't full, so I understand not wanting to have a game in Philly when you're the Tampa Bay Bucks and the Miami Dolphins, but later on in the season they're going to need that bye week, and it's gone.
Yeah,
when they didn't need it, and
exactly.
it's going to handicap those teams. So I think the NFL did not do them right,
no,
and it's going to cause a shitty product. And this is part of why the NFL is in a decline right now, is because they make shitty fucking decisions like this. Because this was fucking unnecessary. Pittsburgh and Philly were ready to host those games because they knew what was up.
Yeah,
and the league said, "No, we're just going to have them burn their bye."
Assholes.
Stupid.
They had a common boy. Let's burn it.
Whatever, dude. So
moving along.
Yeah, the Raiders beat the Titans 26-16. Beast Mode trucked a 305-pound defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Did you see that hit, Kenny?
I saw that, and I also did you see when he flubbed on a pass and then he did a front roll?
Yeah. He
was so awesome.
He was just frustrated that he missed the pass, but man, he is like rejuvenated in Oakland.
Yeah.
He's like 5-6 years younger. He's that year off of doing whatever the fuck he wanted to do, and then coming home to play for the home team has done him good.
Yeah,
and I'm looking forward to seeing him go out through the season. I think he's got.
Yeah, he's not the every down back he used to be, but he's still pretty good.
Look, when you have a defensive tackle come off a block, Now, this is all right. So those who've never played, right? If you're a defensive lineman and you're engaged with an offensive lineman, and running back hits you, you don't really have a lot of leverage, right? You don't have any physics behind you whatsoever. You're literally, however much you weigh, you're just there. You're not You're not really in motion. When this guy came off his block, had enough time to square up against beast mode, drop his hips and his shoulders, and he still got ran clean the fuck over. I don't mean that he dropped his shoulder and knocked over the lineman and tripped over his carcass and he went down. No, I mean he fucking ran him over and kept going.
He trucked him.
He had another 5 yards of active running before he was tackled, and all this lineman could do was reach up and grab a jersey, and it just tore. The jersey gave out. Like, I assume he got laughed at in the film room. I assume he probably cried himself to sleep that night. But do you cry yourself to sleep? Like, my whole would you rather, and I'm saying I'll fuck with beast mode. I don't know if I fuck with beast mode anymore. I might take my chance with Dork Campbell. I might just go, you know what? Fuck it. It's look, out of the pan into the fire. Either way, I'm probably going to hurt myself.
I'd rather deal with Billy Sims.
Well, yeah, you don't want to deal with Earl Campbell. But remember, it's between Earl Campbell and beast mode.
I created the third option because I don't want to deal with either.
You don't want to deal with either? I'm going to do a Deion Sanders and just jump out of the way, man.
Yeah, Emmitt Smith, come at me.
Oh, Emmitt Smith was solid.
Yeah, he was.
He wasn't like fierce, I'm going to run you over unless you were DB, but he was solid. He was solid. Not the best running back ever, but solid.
And also with that Raiders-Titans game, it was the debut of Tony Romo on commentary.
Who did really well, apparently.
He found his niche.
Well, here's the deal, right? What made Tony Romo interesting was he was calling the plays before they ran. Like, he was able to look at the teams and call exactly what the play was going to be based on the formations they were in. So, no. He did it way more than what you see any of the other broadcasters do.
Yeah, well, that's because he's just fresh off the field.
Here's the deal. Tony Romo's probably going to leave the booth to become an offensive coordinator somewhere.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, he has the mind to be a really good OC.
And
I'd like to see where he goes.
Not only that, you could also tell he really missed being on the field.
Of course he does. But his body's not hanging in there the way it needs to play.
Yeah.
You know, it's football.
But
eventually you got to stop.
He was fun to listen to, though.
Yeah, Tony Romo did well. So congratulations to Mr. Romo. Congratulations.
And now moving on to the part of the show that we all knew was coming.
Yep, the Eagles. Yeah. The Eagles won their first game in Washington in like 3 fucking years, man. They haven't beaten the Washington professional football team since Chip Kelly was the coach, and Chip Kelly only won his first matchup. So they had a 5-game win streak going on against Washington. Washington had a 5-game win streak against the Eagles. Doesn't matter where they played; they could have played on fucking Saturn, and they would have won that game. But the Washington team let go of Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson in the offseason.
Dumb.
Well, they brought in Terrell Pryor, and they hoped that Josh Dotson, their number 1 pick from last year, would show up. He didn't show up. He didn't show up in that game. You didn't hear his name that one time.
Nope.
He didn't show up. Jamison Crowder flubbed the punt. Like, they took a massive step back talent-wise. Pryor.
Well, not only that, Terrell Pryor was not very good.
No, Terrell Pryor and Kirk Cousins were not on the same page.
No,
not on the same page. They had touchdowns left on the field. The Eagles also had touchdowns left on the field too, because Torrey Smith wasn't on the same page as Wentz. But it was interesting because the Washington team has been so dominant against Kirk Cousins in particular has been handing it to the Eagles.
Yeah, and
he got it handed to him because that Eagles.
Well, not only that, one thing I took away from that was, damn, Carson Wentz is pretty good when he extends plays.
He's best
like the touchdown to Nelson Aguilar. I was like,
Nelson Aguilar.
I know
what
when he threw that 58-yarder to Nelson Aguilar. What were my exact words?
Holy shit!
He's gonna go down.
Yeah, well, yeah, but he escaped the pass rush.
And he threw a bomb, and he
broke a tackle and scored.
I was like, and I remember you just tapping me like, "Nah, dude, nah."
But he was doing that last year. But what was really interesting, was really good to see, was how the Eagles front 7 in particular got after the quarterback and made life hell. Neither team could run the ball, right?
And also, it was good to hear that Ronald Darby's horrific injury was not as bad as they thought it was.
Listen, we were dry heaving on live.
Oh my god, that looked gruesome.
Fucking the guy rolls he rolls his ankle, and I'm like, oh, he's going down, and he goes down, and I'm looking, and the ankle still at the max where it rolled.
It was a right angle.
Oh,
his leg and his foot were a right angle.
God, I'm like, that's fucking broken. That's I hope it's only dislocated. I hope it's not broken. And they tried to reset it, and they couldn't. and they carted him off the field, and air cast, and I'm sitting there like, oh my God, we just got this guy. He's our number one corner. I'm shitting a break. I hope this guy's able to heal up and come back and do all things.
And he'll be back in 6 weeks.
He'll be back in 6 weeks. Less than 6 weeks now. He'll be back in 5 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. Five weeks maximum. He'll be back.
Damn.
And hopefully he's in shape. And it's great he didn't have any major ligament damage or anything. Nothing requiring surgery. So we get to have him back for the year, which is great. That was very, very good to see. Because it's the most Philadelphia thing could have been for him to like be down for the season right after we acquired him in the trade, which ironically Jordan Matthews was already hurt.
Yeah.
So Jordan Matthews was already hurt in Buffalo the first day of practice, and now in the first game we lose the guy we traded him for, Darby.
Yeah, and Sammy Watkins, by the way, the third guy in that trade.
Yeah.
Stud.
Yeah, he murdered shit in L.A.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because because that's what the Colts do. They make you look like world beaters.
But hold on. I need you to ask me if, in fact, regarding the Eagles and Washington game, if I like that. No, go ahead and ask me if I like that.
Did you like that?
I did like that. I love that. I fucking like that. Did you like that?
I like that.
Good. I'm glad you like that.
Because I don't like the Washington professional football team.
No one likes to watch the professional football team.
Goddamn burgundy and gold HTTR motherfuckers.
Fuck those guys, man. So, the Rams did put the Colts in the fucking trash.
Oh,
put
my
the Colts
God.
in the trash the Eagles game was 30-17. The Colts got dumped in a dumpster. 46-9. Oh my God!
Damn!
The Rams defense scored more points than the Colts offense did.
And it's like, and what took them so long to swap out Jacoby Brissett for Scott? Scott Tolzien out of there.
Scott Tolzien was trash, and everybody knew he was trash going in.
Yeah.
The fact that he started over Brissett was curious.
No, I'll tell you why. Because the Colts had only acquired Brissett 5 days earlier.
Honestly, the quarterback you're putting in is absolute shit.
Well, and it was one of those where you're hoping you could get through the game.
Yeah, no, they didn't get
give Brissett time to learn the playbook.
Well, in all fairness, Pagano thought he was playing the Niners, so I guess
idiot. What a goddamn idiot!
Pagano's done. He's getting fired.
I mean, like
week
this
6.
is the guy that gave us the swinging gate, and deflate
fired.
gate, and everything. Just get the fuck out of here.
He's getting fired. Now, here's the thing, right? We had the discussion earlier in the week. Just you and I were talking.
Mm-hmm.
What role did his cancer and the therapy that comes play in his degradation as a coach? I mean, because Chuck Strong was the thing, right? Chuck Strong, and he was able to survive and beat cancer, which everyone can do.
Hey, good for you, Chuck, on that one, but
like, was he always this bad, and we simply didn't know? Or
I think he's still a great defensive coordinator.
Do you think he's just out of his?
He's out of his element as a head coach.
Well, here's the thing, right? So he went through chemo, and chemo does terrible things to your mind.
Yeah.
So are we seeing those effects over the last 2 seasons, or is he really just done? It's hard to.
Not only that, remember when he took on the head coaching job. Who was running his offense? Bruce Arians, the head coach of Arizona.
Right. Bruce Arians, pretty solid, that guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's a cool guy at the barbecue.
Yeah, he is definitely with the little,
little Kango.
Yeah, exactly. Bruce Arians running his offense, and he was a great defensive mind. He could focus on it, so that's why you saw the ascendancy of the Colts so fast after he took over.
I got you. All right.
I'm saying, but once he lost Bruce Arians, and he had to manage the whole thing, and not only that, the infighting that was going on in Indy between himself and the general manager.
Grigson, yeah, who's now the Browns GM. Good luck with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Huh. Hopefully he doesn't fuck that team up.
Wait, Grigson
is in Cleveland.
Ugh. I feel sorry for Cleveland.
I do. They got to get rid of that guy.
Yeah, well, because he's cancer wherever he goes. I mean, he was an Eagle. He was a Ram.
Ryan Grigson.
Grigson was in the. It was a scout, I believe, with the Eagles.
He was a scout, but he was never the GM. He just.
I'm just saying though. He that's where his grudge against the Patriots started. By the way, that piece of shit. He was on the staff for Super Bowl 36 and 39.
There's no beef like an old beef.
like that there isn't enough suffering that Ryan Grigson can suffer to make me happy, or the gods of Patriot football.
So, yeah, the Rams definitely. But Brissett is he's a starter now.
Brisket, yeah, he's the starter. He has been named as such for week 2, and I think you'll see a better showing from the Colts.
We should see a better offensive showing. They're still hopeless. Their defense is still terrible.
They've always been hopeless on defense.
They're hopeless on defense.
We need to improve our defensive line. Let's draft a wide receiver.
Jared Goff looked beyond competent.
He looked like Tom Brady leading the comeback against the Falcons.
He really did. He looked very comfortable taking them apart. He did a good job.
He passed for 330 yards.
Sammy Watkins showed up.
Sammy Watkins looked like Randy Moss.
You know what the thing is? Like I told you, he's happy to be out of Buffalo.
Yeah.
Because there's sun and there's surf and sand and silicone everywhere in that area.
And gorgeous women.
That's what I said, silicone.
Ah.
But, yeah. So
Okay.
either way, he's in a much happier atmosphere anyway.
Even if the Coliseum is 10% full.
Right. But his everyday life is not the doldrums of being in Buffalo.
And I'm going to say it right now. Sean McVay bringing in Wade Phillips was a genius move
Genius
to
move.
run that defense. Because he is an offensive guru. And I don't think the LA Coliseum is going to be empty for long.
We'll see. LA's still pretty apathetic against their teams.
But he's going to get them excited as the time gets
Even
closer
when
to the opening of the new stadium.
We shall see. Like I said, the only team that they
I think they're going to enjoy the Rams being back.
I am not sold on that.
I'm ready to disagree.
Look, the reason I say that is because they weren't given what they wanted. They wanted the Raiders. The only team LA has really ever cared about was the Raiders. Historically, they've never cared about the Rams.
I think they would have taken the Rams back with open arms if they had gotten the Raiders too.
Yes, indeed. However, the Raiders would have still been the team.
Yeah.
Right. So Raiders, they're going to.
The Raiders move the needle.
It would take some serious, sustained winning over the course of several seasons to make them excited about these two football teams they have.
I don't think they're that far away with the Rams.
No.
What I saw was maybe it was just the Colts making them look better than they actually are.
Could be week 1.
Yeah, exactly. But I think McVay's onto something there.
We shall see. But I'm not discounting it totally. I'm saying that we may not see it this season. We probably won't see it this season. Like I said, they're pretty apathetic against a lot of things. There's so much to do in Philly.
Yeah.
All the college teams they have in the area, the Lakers,
LA,
the Clippers, the Kings. Like there's just so much.
Exactly.
So, the Ducks are still around down the road a little bit. Mm-hmm. These are good teams. So it's you got to really make the product outstanding to attract those guys. Not to mention ticket prices are sky high either way.
Yeah. Even in the LA Coliseum.
Yeah, they're sky high. So you
but
got to make it worth
speaking
their
of
money.
things looking better than it might actually have been.
The Chiefs-Packers defense. All right, so the Packers beat the Seahawks at home.
Yeah.
All right, 9-17. The Packers win. The O-line for the Seahawks is absolutely abysmal. Right? They had their defensive line for the Packers were all over Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
They couldn't get the running game started. They had no time to throw the ball. Not to say that the Seahawks D-line isn't an absolute freaking monster. It is. It's
not like the Packers' offense looked like a juggernaut.
The Seahawks defense is still the Seahawks defense.
Yeah.
But until they get that offense straightened out, they're in for some rough sledding. They're in for them rough sledding. I mean, you had a guy I'd never heard of coming off the edge, absolutely eviscerating your quarterback play after play after play. You can't allow that.
No, you can't.
You can't.
And that was just one of those things where it's like he took a beating. Russell Wilson took a beating.
He took a beating, and I don't know if he can survive the season like that.
I don't either, but we'll see.
All right.
It's going to be tough to watch.
All right, so the Panthers beat the 49ers 23-3.
The Panthers barely broke a sweat. McCaffrey looks like a legit pro.
He looks like a legit pro, and that's all.
He's going to get another chance to do so against the Bills.
That's all I have to say about that.
Moving on.
All right, the Cowboys beat the Giants 19-3 in the game where I was really hoping that the scoreboard would fall on both teams in Jerry World, but I was not given that.
Instead, you were given an amazing one-handed catch by Cole Beasley.
I was,
and a whole lot of nothing by the Giants' offense.
The Giants' offense looks terrible. All right, and so
they miss Odell.
Honestly, I don't know if Odell makes a difference in this one. But all right, so full disclosure, Eagles fan, of course you should fucking know that, right? But
also a Patriots fan who's seething at the 2 Super Bowl losses.
Here you go. So I don't think the Cowboys' defense is as good as it looked against that Giants' offense. I do, however, think that Giants' defense is as good as it initially looked against the Cowboys' offense.
Mm-hmm.
Dak Prescott was not clean. He played a sloppy game.
No.
Most of this whole game was sloppy, but what really bothered me was the absolute lack of offensive capability out of the Giants, right? So you have your star wide receiver, Odell Beckham Jr. is hurt, and then a report came out later he's out for another 6 weeks.
Wow.
Right, with an ankle sprain. Right,
that's devastating to them.
Brandon Marshall's not at full speed. You have
And not only that, but Brandon Marshall's aged.
You have no running game. Your offensive line is terrible. Eli Manning is not mobile, never has been, and now he's old. You have all these things, and their offense showed what I expected it to show. It's what was it? 3 points. Three points. That's all they were able to muster, and that's going to be what it looks like for the Giants going forward. You have another 6 to 8 weeks with no Odell Beckham Jr. You never address your O-line. You never address your running game. You have a tight end who's pretty good. No time to throw him the ball.
Nope.
No time to throw him the ball. You get to play the fucking Eagles in week 3, who have a monstrous pass rush, and like literally the Eagles' strength is going against your weakness. Eli is going to be drinking out of a straw. Well, I can't say that because I personally watched the Eagles beat the bejesus out of Eli Manning, and he just keeps getting back up and coming back. So,
I mean, Eli Manning's introduction to the NFL was a beating from the Eagles.
It was. I remember.
I remember it too.
Smashed by that defensive tackle. God, he almost killed him. Oh, but
and here we are, 13 years later. He's still in the league.
He's still in the league. Hasn't missed a game.
Hasn't missed a game. Give him props, but I think he might miss one this year if it keeps up.
But the Giants' offense was offensive.
Anemic.
It was terrible, and I honestly expected better from them. There was debate about this division going anyway, and to be honest with you, knowing the Giants, they could catch fire at some point in the season.
Oh yeah, that's what they do. Late in the season, they don't have to be mediocre or bad.
They catch fire. So we'll see. Right now, I'm not warm and fuzzy with the Giants. They're
not either.
They're very underwhelming. So the Saints got waxed by Minnesota in Minnesota. Sam Bradford put up a career game. What was the score on that, Kenny?
29-19.
29-19 in
garbage points by the Saints in the end.
Yep, there was some garbage time scores, and that was it. There was really a dominant performance. Sam Bradford looked like a number 1 overall pick.
Yeah,
he did. They
27 of 32, 321 yards.
They protected him. They had a good running game going. He sat back and he picked apart a weak Saints defense.
Yeah. Adam Thielen in the slot looked amazing.
Look, the Vikings look good.
It makes me excited for week 2 for the Saints and the Patriots.
It's exciting. The Saints are in bad shape. Drew Brees is another year older. He has less tools around him now than he did before ever in New Orleans. And the defense as an absolute, they're more of a liability than they've ever been.
And AP,
Adrian Peterson is like the third best running back on that team right now.
Yeah, and then that little exchange between him and Sean Payton where he's yelling at him, and then we see Sean Payton turn around, and then all of a sudden AP shuts up. Do you think Sean Payton shot blue steel at him?
Yeah, he definitely hit him with blue steel. But hold on, wait, which way did he turn? Left? It was Magnum.
Oh, wait, my
bad. It was Magnum. He turned left. It was Magnum. And he saw how AP stopped. He was like, what's up, Magnum? It's beautiful. Oh my God, I don't know what to do with that. This is beautiful. But look, we told you, New Orleans, that AP was not going to work out for you. He's done. He doesn't know he's done.
He doesn't want to accept that
he doesn't want to help. And he's not a good person. He's a terrible person, so he's behaving exactly as he does.
Yeah.
So good luck with that.
Enjoy his 6 carries for 18 yards.
That's pretty pathetic. But
for Adrian Peterson standards,
that's
or any
pathetic
standards.
for any running back standards. So the Broncos beat the Chargers in a close one, 21-24. Blocked field goal at the last minute basically sealed it for the Broncos.
The Broncos defense kind of gave up 2 touchdowns late to get them back in it.
What was the name of the Chargers? It was like Sum Young Ho was the name of the
first Korean-born player.
Yeah, second. I think he was the second. But they blocked his kick. What they did was he kicked it. They iced him. He made that kick, and then when they came back out from the timeout, they were able to block it. So this is like one of the few times I've seen icing the kicker actually work.
Yeah,
for something. So congratulations to the
Broncos.
Well, no,
they noticed that the trajectory was low on the make.
Yeah, well, So they were able to take advantage of that. So congrats to the Broncos for pulling off a close
Young Ho Koo.
Young Ho Koo. There you go. Young Ho Koo.
Not some Young Ho.
I was close.
Not really.
I had the Young Ho part close. No, I had the Young Ho part close.
I understand.
Yeah, I had the Young Ho part close, man.
But so I mean, but you got to remember though that the Chargers' offense had to work double time just to get back into that game.
Look,
they were down 24-7 at the start of the fourth.
They made it a game.
They did.
And they could have took it to OT.
Old Marmalade didn't pack it in.
No, Old Marmalade rarely packs it in. He rarely gives up. If anything,
he's an annoying old bastard.
Talks more shit
and has more kids.
And he's probably got 5 or 6 kids playing on a team that no one knows about.
That's what I love about this show. We just shoot from the hip.
But also, moving on to the Week 2 Thursday game between the Bengals again at home against the Texans, in which case they lost again.
Yeah.
Like, terrible. What was the score, dude?
13-9.
The Bengals have yet to score a touchdown. They've played 2 games at home and have yet to score a touchdown of any kind. No special teams touchdowns, no defensive touchdowns, and no offensive touchdowns.
Only the second team in NFL history to ever do that.
The 39 Eagles were the first.
Yes.
Back in the day where teams used to play just whatever amount of games they could.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was no standard.
Against teams that had baseball team names.
Yeah, it was weird. The NFL was in its Wild West days and early
weird stuff.
Weird.
I mean, it's not like the Roaring 20s where they had a team in Providence.
Oh, God. But
Providence Steamrollers. Whoop, whoop.
The Bengals look terrible.
Yeah, they do.
The Texans
and they had to do something.
What's crazy is the Bengals could have won that game. The Texans were not all that great.
Aside from one play by Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson did some good things. J.J. Watt about killed a guy at the end of the game.
Yeah, he did.
So congratulations to him. But other than that, it's really terrible.
I was underwhelmed by that game in general.
Underwhelmed. Next week's Thursday night game looks to be exceptionally terrible.
It's just, and that's the problem. It's like when you guarantee every team in the NFL a primetime game.
Thursday becomes a dumping ground.
Exactly.
Well,
that's why we have terrible Thursday games.
Here's and I've gone over this before, right? No one's going to play effectively off of 4 games of rest. So, if you're determined to give everyone a primetime game, make that Thursday night game occur after their bye weeks. That's the only way you're going to get a healthy, adequately spun up team and a good product on the field Thursday night. That's it.
You know what I think?
What?
Let's just keep the Thursday night games to the start of the year and Thanksgiving.
Okay. I mean, if the NFL is dead set on doing it, though,
yeah,
and they have to do it, I'd say make the Thursday games after the bye week.
Yeah. But then what do you do with the Jaguars after when they go to London?
This is fucking stop going to London. Like, stop doing that bullshit. They're not going to have an NFL franchise in London. That's a logistics nightmare.
It is a logistics nightmare.
You can still make that a fucking Thursday game in London. Make it a Thursday game in London. Seriously. After the bye week, fly them fuckers out to London.
Yeah, but are the Brits going to go to the games on Thursday night?
Gives a fuck. They'll show up.
Yeah, give them a reason to drink, right?
They do. They love coming out and watching football and drinking. They don't know what the fuck's going on. They just, hey, this team looks cool. They pick a jersey, and that's their fandom.
Oh, look at this bunch of choices over here.
Right? So that's my way to fix Thursday Night Football, right? I get it. Teams are going to be coming off of little rest, if any, no game prep, and they're set for normally a 7-day week.
Yeah.
You can't
get them on a short week like that.
Can't get them on a short week and expect good things to happen.
No.
So that's my way.
I'm dreading week 5 myself.
Hopefully, I hope that someone of consequence in the NFL hears this particular show, and goes, those guys have a fucking point there, and changes the format of how they execute Thursday Night Football, because I think it makes everyone involved happier. The players are happier because they're coming off of rest. The fans are happier because they get to watch quality football. The league is happier because people are watching football and they're making money. Advertisers are happier. Owners are happier. Everyone's happy if they just make that one change. Everybody fucking wins. There's no losing. Everybody wins.
Yeah.
I mean, you control the schedule, so you can fucking
do
it. You can do it. So, all right, uneducated predictions.
There we go.
All right, I'm going to kick this off. We'll alternate. It's going to be great.
So, for the rest of the week 2 slate.
Yep. All right, so Browns versus Ravens in Baltimore. I have the Ravens winning 19-21. I've been a closer game than people anticipate.
I got the Ravens also winning. I'm a little bit more of a, the Browns will make a juvenile mistake that kind of costs them the game, but makes it a little bit wider of a spread, 23-14.
Fair enough. I'm not convinced that the Ravens offense is really where it's at yet.
I know, and then what I'm saying is maybe Kaiser throws a pick 6 when it's 16-14, something like that.
Could definitely happen. We never know in the AFC North.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to call this next one?
Bills Panthers. Who you got, Dirty?
I had Panthers coming in, winning that game, 17-28.
Yeah, I got the Panthers also 30-20.
Okay. Cards versus Colts. I have the Cards obliterating the Colts 35-12.
I only have a 14-point spread because, as we said earlier, Carson Palmer looks older.
He does look old.
It's 31-17.
I actually have the Cards scoring that many points because I think the defense is going to score a couple touchdowns.
Well, the only reason I have the Colts scoring 17 is because, Brissett and garbage time.
Maybe. Yeah. They won't be a threat to win the game.
Yeah.
So, call the next one, man.
Titans and Jags.
I got the Titans taking this one 24-27, a close one.
Yeah, I got the Titans as well. 18-16.
I like how the Titans defense was getting to quarterbacks against the Texans.
Yeah, I like the way the Jaguars defense showed up against the Texans.
Yeah, well, I think so.
You said the Titans.
Sorry, Jaguars. No,
yeah, you were talking about the Titans against the Raiders.
I'm sorry. I have reservations with the Jags due to Bortles.
Yes.
I will always have reservations as long as Bortles is touching the football. I don't care if he's holding one on the sidelines. That could be a pick anytime.
Hey,
so
I was impressed by Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, Bortles definitely needs all the help he can get.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a good quarterback at all.
No, he's not. He's not a franchise quarterback.
No. So Eagles at Kansas City. All right, I'm gonna do the homer thing. I'm gonna pick my boys to win 35-27. Eagles.
I'm gonna take the Chiefs 38-24.
Either one of those outcomes is totally plausible.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about this a little bit, right? You have these teams are clones of each other for the most part. You have two teams who are predicated on their defensive line.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks who are predicated on their mobility and decision making.
Yep.
The Kansas City definitely has a stronger running game with Kareem Hunt than what the Eagles do in their backfield.
Yeah.
The receiving core, I'm going to lean towards Philly for volume, but Tyreek Hill is a speed.
Well, you're forgetting about Travis Kelce.
And Travis Kelce, you match him against Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz. They're both top 5 tight ends.
Yeah.
Like Zach Ertz had 100 yards receiving last year. They took away Kelce the Patriots took Kelce away
and still got beat by Tyreek Hill.
Yes,
and
but
Kareem Hunt.
I think Kareem Hunt was the one they didn't plan for.
Yeah, I don't think they really did not give him much credence.
Nobody knew about Kareem Hunt. It's a rookie.
Yeah, they were just good. They were preparing for Spencer Ware, and they're like, I guess he won't be a problem.
Well. So with that being said, this game really could go either way. So what I believe is going to determine the game, as always, is going to be which defense creates the most turnovers. Who can force the quarterbacks to making bad throws? Who can strip the ball out from the quarterback's hands? This game is going to be won by those offensive line, defensive line battles in the trenches. Totally. The secondary, because both of these defensive lines are so dominant, and these offensive lines are kind of shaky, that the speed in which the pass rush will get home really negates the long pass from the pocket. Alex Smith and Carson Wentz will have to throw their long balls on the move outside the pocket.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be really what sets it apart here.
I think so. I think honestly, right now, Alex Smith has the accuracy that Carson Wentz doesn't, and he has a chance to win. I just think that Wentz has found ways to make nothing out of something out of nothing. So I can't count my dudes out, so I'm going with them. But it could go either way. This really could. I can't. Either one of these, we could have switched these, and it still works.
And then we transition from your team to mine.
Go ahead, call it.
All right, so Pats and the Saints, dirty. Why don't you throw that out there?
So I'm calling a 38-21 win for the Pats.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit pessimistic on this, just given what I saw from the opening night debacle in Foxborough. A loud environment. We got two great legendary quarterbacks going against each other, which should be a fun matchup to watch in terms of just offensive firepower.
It can be.
I've got the Pats winning 45-35, and I saw what happened after Dante Hightower came out of the game on defense.
Is he back? Is he healthy again?
That's the thing. Is that there was some speculation he might sit this one out just to give his sprain a little time to heal. It's a minor PCL sprain.
That's a sprain though.
Exactly, and then they're thinking that maybe with the 10 days off to get ready for the Saints, maybe that was enough time to integrate Cassius Marsh, who was getting victimized left and right by the Chiefs.
He's going to lose that matchup every time.
It was like against Kareem Hunt, but
he's too fast.
Yeah, but Mark Ingram is Mark Ingram going to victimize Cassius Marsh in the way that Kareem Hunt did?
No. Yeah. No, not like that. Mark Ingram doesn't run routes like that.
Is Adrian Peterson going to do that, or is he going to get shut down by Blue Steel again?
We shall see. Honestly, I'm curious to see what AP does in this game.
Yeah.
I want to see exactly how much he has left, because the Vikings let him go for a reason.
Exactly.
The Vikings let him go for a fucking reason. So,
and not only that, but Tom Brady's going to have Chris Hogan in the slot. And if Adam Thielen can look amazing in the slot, imagine what somebody that's getting the ball thrown to him from Tom fucking Brady can do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're going to carve up the Saints defense, but I also think that Drew Brees is going to get his shots in.
We'll see. I'm curious. I'm really.
It's going to be a fun game to watch for me.
I think so. I think it's going to be fun for anyone watching.
If you like offense, tune into Saints Pats.
So the next one is going to be the Vikings and Steelers. Now I have they're playing in Pittsburgh. I have the Vikings winning 28-17, and I believe the Vikings defense is going to set this apart. I believe both quarterbacks, both offenses are very capable. I think the Vikings have the superior defense in this one, so I got to pick the Vikings.
And I just think that just the repertoire of one Ben Roethlisberger, kind of, and you've got the two offenses kind of not doing spectacular things. And you also take into account that amazing Vikings defense.
It's pretty good,
and a serviceable Steelers defense.
It's there.
It's adequate. It's
inconsistent.
It's Shoney's.
It's Shoney's.
It's safe.
It's safe.
It's so that's why I've got the Steelers pulling this one out 17-14. The thing that tips it for me is that it's at Pittsburgh.
It is in Heinz Field, so it could go. Roethlisberger's pretty good no matter where he plays.
And then
actually he's not. He's good at home and in Cleveland. He's actually not.
We forgot to mention
he's the most winningest quarterback in Cleveland.
Yeah, he's won more games at Cleveland than any quarterback that's ever suited up for the Browns since they became an expansion franchise in 1999. Ridiculous. 10 games he's won. Ugh. So we throw on the Bucks making their season debut against the Bears.
The Bears.
Who acquitted themselves well against the Falcons. I don't see it going that way. How do you see it going, Dirty?
I got to go in 14-28 in favor of the Bucks. They're playing at home. It's their home opener. It's a week late.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, we're going to find out which Bear. This game is going to be a little closer than folks will think, but I still have the Bucks putting up 4 touchdowns. Some way, shape, or
form. And I also have them giving them. I'm giving them one more field goal than you, but same score, 31-14.
All right, we shall see.
Speaking of the other unknown quantity,
you have the Finns versus the Chargers. Excuse me, Los Angeles Chargers. That's fucking weird.
Yeah,
but
in a soccer stadium.
In a soccer, it holds 30,000. It was still empty. But I got the Finns winning by 1, 21-20. I got it to be a close one.
I think Old Marmalade shows up.
You think he shows up?
Yeah, and I think you're going to see a 23-17 Chargers.
I could go that way. The Chargers were actually pretty good against the Broncos.
Yeah, either way.
The Dolphins have been away from home. So
yeah, they have.
We don't know what that affects. We don't know what the Smoke and Jay Cutler effect's going to be.
Smoke and Jay.
So I'm not scared of the Chargers secondary though.
Yes, yeah, I know.
And the Dolphins have some talent. But
speaking of ain't scared, how not scared are the Raiders?
Not scared at all. In fact, they're playing the Jets.
Yeah, this is going to be the biggest blowout of the week right
in
here.
Oakland, they're playing the Jets in Oakland. Instead of playing a team that's actively tanking, terribly actively tanking.
Like trying to set the record for least points scored in a season.
Right, and they're doing a good job. And they're playing in Oakland against a team that's got beast mode running. So
and Derek Carr and a great offensive line that just signed Donald Penn to an extension.
Did you see the touchdown that Cooper scored last week?
Oh, my God.
That was crazy. He catches the ball on like the 4 or 5 yard line. He's able to bulldoze his way with some lineman help into the end zone for a touchdown.
That
crazy. Play should have been dead, but it wasn't. So these guys are selling out for the play.
That was against a good team.
So I have the Raiders taking this one 45-9.
You're giving them that much?
I'm giving them 9 points in garbage time.
Yeah, well, I'm not. 55-3 Raiders.
Oh God!
Because fuck the Jets.
That'd be funny if the Jets won this game.
That would be absolutely what?
That'd been fucking weird. Like we would have to literally go outside, catch a crow just to eat it. Which is cool because I got barbecue sauce in the grill right out back. I'm sure I can prepare some.
And we send the video to David Bolton.
Yeah, I had to eat crow, but I highly doubt it. I highly doubt we'll have to eat crow. But
I highly doubt it too. And so, I feel sorry for him having to sit through this season.
Yeah. Thankfully, we're here for you to make fun of your team the entire way. But so the Cowboys versus the Broncos.
in Denver.
I
This
have
is a
the
tough one.
Broncos taking this one, 21-24. Broncos.
I'm going to lean 20-17 Cowboys. But, I mean, I'm going to acknowledge it can go either way.
I'm giving the Broncos their one up because they're playing in Mile High. The Cowboys didn't look that good. Their offense was out of sorts against the Giants. I believe that as good as the Giants' defense is, I believe the Broncos' secondary is superior.
The only thing that gets me is that Trevor Siemian doesn't impress me.
No.
He does not impress me.
He does not. Ezekiel Elliott is going to be what decides this game ultimately.
Exactly, and I think the fact that Zeke is playing is what tips it for the Cowboys.
It could. But doesn't mean he's going to have a good game though. Doesn't mean his game is going to be good. He'll be there.
Yeah, it'll be competitive.
It'll be competitive. We both called this like a 3-point game either way.
Yeah.
So.
And then speaking of games that won't be competitive,
Pigskins versus the Rams.
As we put the Rams on a pedestal for another week.
24-12 Rams in this one. They're playing in L.A.
And I originally had this one as the Rams pitching a shutout, but I'm going to revise that 30-10.
30-10 in favor of the Rams. All right, so here's my logic behind this. I don't believe that the Pigskins are remotely close to what they were last year offensively.
No.
I believe that their defense is, adequate. It's solid.
Yeah.
They lost a big piece of their defense with Stuart Craven's contemplating retirement.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not scared of their other outside guys. I'm not scared of Kirk Cousins. I'm not scared of a lot of these players. Kurt's lucky to get out of the season, to go play in San Fran. That's where he's headed.
Yeah.
He's
gonna take a beating.
Yeah. Now, of course, like I said, week one, Eagles' defensive line could either be exceptionally outstanding or the Washington offensive line could be terrible. They weren't terrible last year, so they got the same people. I doubt they're terrible this year. But they got their asses handed to them collectively by the Eagles, and it could definitely happen again against this Rams team that's coached by Wade Phillips.
Yeah,
that defense is coached by Wade Phillips. And so I got it.
That's a nightmare waiting to happen.
If they were that bad against an Eagles team with a suspect secondary in the passing game, they're going to get their lunch taken by these Rams. And it's not like the Rams are a good team. We're just giving their defense credit.
I mean, I'm sorry, but Wade Phillips gives Tom Brady nightmares.
Look, most of the Rams points, I believe at least one touchdown is a result of the defense forcing a turnover and taking games.
Exactly, and that's why I had it so lopsided in favor of the Rams, too.
Right. It's not like the Rams, like Jared Goff's going to come out there and play out of his mind and score that many points. We say the defense is going to be what determines this game.
Yeah, and we clown the heck out of Sean McVay and his Madden cheat codes and everything because he's the youngest coach ever. Yeah. But damn, was that a mature choice to bring in Wade Phillips.
It's a great look. If you have a Wade Phillips to run your defense, you bring in Wade Phillips to run your defense, period.
Yeah.
He has proven over and over again to be the type of DC that Rex Ryan claims he is.
Yeah, exactly. Instead, how many times have we seen Wade Phillips on ESPN?
You don't.
We don't because he's too busy coaching.
Crazy. He's also like 1,000 years old. So, if he had a foot fetish, that shit would have been established in the 70s.
Yeah. Speaking of things that bore me, 49ers and the Seahawks.
Yeah, I got the Seahawks taking this one 21-6.
I'm on a similar vein, but with less points, 17-3.
Look, the Niners are absolutely terrible right now.
They're boring.
They're in a rebuild mode. The Seahawks aren't a great team. Their defense is outstanding. Their offense is not good. Their offensive line in particular is terrible.
But they're not going to be challenged by the Niners.
They're not challenged by the Niners, right? And they're playing in Seattle. So, yeah, they're playing in the Cheater Dome, where they built the stadium specifically to be louder, and then got mad when Kansas City, whose stadium isn't built to be loud, was louder than them. Yeah, seriously, Oracle, is it Oracle Stadium? No, who?
Quest.
Yeah.
Quest, Seattle Stadium.
Yeah, the Seattle Stadium. They designed their stadium to channel sound from the stands onto the field. If you look on the they built their stadium to be loud.
They built it to be loud, and and when it backfired,
the Chiefs they took it for a minute. They held they held the title of loudest stadium in the NFL for about a good 2 weeks, and then the Chiefs broke it. How did the Chiefs break it?
Arrowhead's always loud.
They broke it because they simply had more people.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to build their stadium to channel sound into the field. The fans just generated it, and Seattle was fucking.
What kills me is that what surprises me about that whole Chiefs Seahawks thing.
Yeah.
How are the Saints not the loudest stadium?
They're not. It's decibel readings are not there. I mean,
Superdome sound
is loud. However, when you build a stadium that's specifically designed to be loud. And when you have the volume of people that Kansas City does, and I think they were trying to set the record as well. They were saying, hey, look, we don't have to build a special stadium. We're just loud. And Kansas City went out there and did it. It's the equivalent of the tech bro douche who fucking builds in a cheat code into the game, and then you still beat him at the game. That's what happened, and he reacted accordingly. They reacted like an 80s fucking bully did in the 80s movie. So, yeah, haram from taking my ball going home. You guys suck.
So the best game of the week coming up is Packers at Falcons.
Ooh, right.
Speaking of new stadiums,
they're opening Megatron's butthole for this one.
Nice.
Yes, you're opening Megatron's butthole. And when I say I don't mean Calvin Johnson's butthole, you pervs. I mean like the Transformer Megatron.
Right, yeah.
His
And I've
butthole.
always taken exception to Megatron being Calvin Johnson's nickname. And we have gone into this. He does not have an arm cannon. That should have been a nickname given to a quarterback. That's the dork portion of the show, folks.
So I'm not sold on either one of these teams. I don't know who either one of these teams are right now.
Yeah, I know.
But I do have the Packers winning this game 27-14, based on the fact that Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, and the Packers defense, while it played against a terrible Seattle's offense, I still think that defensive line has some legitimacy to it, and they'll get after Matt Ryan.
I think the emotions of raising their NFC Championship banner, after blowing a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl and opening a new stadium, is going to be what carries the Falcons to victory in this game. They're going to be a hype because, it's their new home.
We'll see.
I think I got the Falcons taking this one 23-21. It's going to be a Sunday night game worth watching, though.
Yes, definitely worth watching.
It's going to be fun to watch.
They're going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch. I'm going to watch this game. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Next game up is the Lions
Monday
and
Night
Giants.
Football, Lions and Giants.
So, I wish you were playing last year's Giants, because this year's Giants have been disappointing so far. Either way, I have the Lions winning 35-10.
Which, I understand where you're coming from based on what you saw, especially with what we saw from the Giants offense Sunday night.
They were terrible.
They were. But I'm going to go 21-6.
That's also possible. It depends. All right, so if the Giants offense repeats its performance and leaves that defense on the field, as good as they are, they will get worn down.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that, but at the same time, I'm thinking it could be like the Giants defense keeps the Giants in the game. Like it's a 7-6 game going into the fourth, and then they just get tired.
Who knows? Eli Manning, you never know which one's going to show up in the regular season game.
Yeah, I just love watching Manning face, though.
Good Eli could show up. I doubt it, but it could show up.
Is it January?
No.
Then good Eli probably won't show up.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, so
and then we have the Week 3 Thursday game.
Right, Rams and Niners, and what is probably going to be the worst game all season of any teams playing each other.
Are you sure? I think we saw the worst game on Week 1 when the Colts went to L.A.
I believe we can do better than Colts versus Rams.
Oh, so the Niners. Yeah, because, like the Panthers, when I was watching that, I was actually watching that game.
Yeah.
On NFL Red Zone.
Yeah.
And from what I saw, even in, only scoring 23 points, the Panthers never broke a sweat.
No, the Panthers...
There was little effort.
Well, remember,
in beating the 49ers.
They treated the game like a warm-up. Like, we're talking about Cam getting his arm back and where it needs to be and all the other shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and working Christian McCaffrey into everything.
Working in the rookie and the whole thing.
Exactly.
I get it. Yeah, the Rams defense is where it is. So
we're just impressed with the Rams defense.
I am 35-0 in favor of the Rams for me.
I've got 27-10 Rams.
Right.
And only because of the short week.
And this is a bad game because it's going to be so absolutely one-sided. You're talking about the Rams just punting over and over and over again. Interceptions. Like, if you're a Rams fan, it's going to be great. If you're a Niners fan, it's going to be terrible. Stay away.
Yeah.
Stay away. Like, don't go to Buffalo Wild Wings because your wallet can't handle the bar tab you're going to have to rack up to watch this game. Stay home. But plus, you're going to have to get an Uber home. So just skip all that shit. Stay home.
It's going to be surge pricing because everybody else that's leaving the stadium is trying to get away from this shit, too.
Right. So save yourself the pain. Stay home. Have a few friends over. grab a gallon of ice cream for you to cry into after the game.
Cry puke.
and cry puke yourself to sleep because it's gonna go badly for you guys. And this year is gonna be nothing but this for the Niners.
You know what I just realized though by us calling the two with the Rams doing this?
Yeah,
we just picked the Rams to go 3-0.
we did. All right, so
what?
All right, so when you start off with your schedule being this week.
It's kind of like what the Eagles had last year with Wentz.
Well, no.
Against the Bears, Browns, and
Steelers. The fucking Steelers.
Yeah, well,
not a weak team. If you'd have said,
I forgot they played the Steelers in Week 3.
Yeah, and they absolutely killed the Steelers in Week 3. But then again,
that was surprising.
Historically, it's not. Historically, when the Steelers come to Philly, the Eagles beat the shit out of them every fucking time. Every fucking time. Actually,
so they
Eagles,
win the Pennsylvania State Championship.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything because at the end of the season, the trophy case is still fucking empty.
It's like when Houston and Dallas play in the preseason. It's like the Governor's Trophy. Yeah, get the
fuck out of here. No, what's interesting is because the Eagles and Steelers were once the single team. During World War II, they combined both teams for a season until the Steagles, due to the shortage of men's for the war.
Because they was too busy in the island hopping campaign.
Too busy fighting in Europe and in the Pacific. So,
Word.
But yeah, modern times, the Eagles have won that matchup more times than not, especially against Roethlisberger. In fact, the last two times the Eagles have played Roethlisberger, they beat him to the point where he was contemplating retirement.
He's still contemplating retirement.
Yeah, but especially after those games because they get to him. Like it's something about it's a lot of the defenses in the AFC. Actually, all the defenses in the AFC North run 3-4. Yeah. When they get against a strong 4-3 front, it fucks up their whole shit, and they're just not prepared for it. But so I guess we should move on and talk about this week's shitty beer
of the week.
It's the shitty beer of the week, sir. Greetings, I'm Dirk Digley of the Philadelphia Digglers.
And I'm Kenneth Dorksworth of the Connecticut Dorksworth.
And we are here to give you Dirk Digley's Shitty Game Time Beer of the Week. Ladies and gentlemen.
Let me fasten my man bun.
Fasten it up. I got my flannel and my vinyl record for that band you never heard.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, don't worry, you've never heard of them.
Yeah, all right, yeah, you've never heard of them. We are sampling the one and only
Pabst
Blue Ribbon.
Yum, yum.
Hold on. Let's try it out.
I can see why hipsters love this so much.
Man, this is fucking weird.
It's cheap, but it's solid.
Hold on. Let me try this again.
Is that the bottle I peed in? Nah, I'm kidding.
I couldn't tell you if it was. All right, so
it's like if you're on a budget. Yeah.
But all right, so is this my first choice for shitty beer? No, not at all.
Hams.
Hams. Party with hams.
I mean, seriously, hams is your first choice.
Hams is my choice to go with. It's the best bang for your buck. And behind that, I get the Miller MGD and High Life, but this is right in there.
Maybe a Red Dog.
I haven't seen a Red Dog in years, and I'm okay with that. Red Dog is Anheuser-Busch, man. It tastes like Budweiser if it's left out in the sun.
Ugh.
But so PBR.
I used to drink Red Dog and MGD all the time.
So this PBR is not bad, right? It's not bad. It's not noteworthy either. It's not like, this beer is something you should drink out of a fucking brandy sniffer. No, this is a cheap beer.
It's generic.
It tastes all right. Like, it tastes okay. It's a generic beer taste. It's got enough of everything.
If you're trying to save money at the bar, this is the beer you drink.
Yeah, like if you offer me a beer and this is what you gave me, I'm good. I drink this and we continue to be friends. Like, we're good. Like,
maybe a little key, I take this over Keystone.
Keystone can go fuck himself. But I will drink this. This is okay. Yeah. It's not my first choice, but if it's what's there, I'm good. Like, I can drink this. Yeah. So is this? Would I rather have this than crab juice? I'd rather have this.
I don't know. I mean, like, we're washing Clove Kalash down.
I would wash my Clove Kalash down with PBR before crab juice for this one.
I'd take Mountain Dew.
Now, would I wash my Clove Kalash down with a Natty Boh?
Steak.
No. Would I wash my Clove Kalash down with expired Mexican beer?
Yes.
Yeah, probably. Would I wash it down with that shit we drank last week? What was it? It was an ice beer.
Ice?
No.
Was it
Pabst Ice?
No, it was Bush Ice.
No, Pabst Ice.
Firehouse.
No, it was Pabst Ice. We didn't drink the Busch Ice.
It was an ice house.
6.9%. That's Pabst. It's a Miller company. Pabst is a Miller company. It was.
I can't remember half.
Hold on. What's behind you? What's behind you with the red tops?
Milwaukee's Beast
I'm
Ice.
sorry. I was totally wrong. Milwaukee's Beast Ice.
I was gonna say. I didn't think I got that.
It was
drunk.
terrible. I'm trying to purge it from. I'm trying to push the purge button. I remember it happened. I just don't remember details.
Yeah, the corny masks and security systems.
Holy shit, dude. All right, so I guess we should talk about our shitty hot takes, huh?
Yeah.
All right,
let's get some shitty ones here.
Shitty hot takes. All right, so here's how I'm feeling, right? Andy Dalton will be riding the pine by week 7. AJ McCarron is on the bench. He's in the games I've seen him play. He's been at it. He's been good. He's not going to blow your doors off, but he's been sufficient. At this
He's
point,
persuasive.
well, at this point, the offensive utility, they're going to have to try something. You can't continue to. You have AJ Green. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
you have
AJ Green's fucking
Bernard.
frustrating.
You have Giovanni. What the fuck are you? Like, how are you not scoring touchdowns?
John Ross.
How are you not scoring touchdowns in Cincinnati? So
seriously, I mean, I don't think it's all the offensive coordinator's fault.
am I going to say he remains on the bench? No, but they're going to sit his ass week 7 at some point and give someone else a shot just to see what happens because he's been underwhelming. He honestly he deserves the benching. He deserves to be sat for a minute.
Yeah, the Red Ryder BB gun needs to be sat.
If McNabb can get fucking sat for a little bit, Duke can get sat.
Yeah.
So he's no McNabb because McNabb won fucking playoff games.
Boom.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, like seriously, AJ McCarron. I mean, just on the fucking prowess of his hot wife, should be in that game.
Was it Jim Nantz that was lusting over her?
Oh, Brett Musburger.
Brett Musburger was thirsting so hard for her during his
thirst was real.
Was that the championship game?
Hey, Alabama national champion.
God, that was so bad.
It was, but seriously though, I mean, you know, if he's got game like that where he can get a wife like that, he probably has game enough to get on the field and score touchdowns.
You know, it's bad when you can hear that someone has an erection over the phone, on the TV. Like Brett Musburger.
Oh, I can actually hear you getting hard.
Like
Ew.
I can hear your erection. That's not okay.
Dude, please calm yourself.
I'm gonna need you to go do something with that.
Dude, please go put on a new set of pants.
The fuck out of here. But so Kenny, what's your
my hot take? Yeah. Ugh. Let's get that out of our system.
Boner.
Old man boner.
Old balls.
Oh, Chad.
Old balls.
Yes. Speaking of our old friend Chuck Pagano. At some point, I mean, I'm assuming this is after he's been fired.
Yeah.
Because that's week 5, by the way.
Yeah, I don't see him lasting the whole season.
No, I don't either. The Colts are going to stop making every quarterback they play look like the goddamn Super Bowl MVP around week 16.
It would look nice. It would be nice for them to stop for just one game. Just to change things up.
Like, seriously, they made Jared Goff look like Tom Brady.
Jared Goff might be the truth. He's the #1 overall pick.
I know, but to that point, had he looked like that?
No, he was terrible.
I mean, seriously. I mean, the Colts defense right now could probably make Scott Tolzien look like a competent starter.
He probably looks like a starter because he's practicing against that defense.
Oh,
logic.
I mean, but seriously, I mean, this is the guy who gave us the swinging gate feint punt.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, what are you doing?
So, yeah, the Colts are in bad shape.
They're embarrassing,
and
I really have to say this right now, as a Patriots fan, I feel sorry for Jacoby Brissett.
I don't. Here's why I don't. Pagano's going to get fired, right? That opens the door for a new coach with a new coaching staff. There's opportunity to do well in Indianapolis. There is, because your division is perpetually terrible.
I feel sorry for him to have to suffer through this Indianapolis right now.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right now the future's bright for that guy.
Yeah.
That kid is going to be... No. He is not going to supplant Andrew Luck as the starter. But I think if he acquits himself well enough in this emergency starting role, he's going to be a starter somewhere else.
He definitely could be. I saw him play last season when Brady
Did you see him against that in the Giants game?
I think so. When
in
Brady
the preseason?
Brady was suspended, and
then Garoppolo got his shoulder hurt against Miami.
And Brissett came in and acquitted himself quite well.
Yeah.
For a third stringer, he looked pretty damn good for a third stringer.
Rookie.
For a third stringer, because there's veteran third stringers that look like fucking third stringers.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like Rex's defense threw a shutout against them, but that's it.
Yeah, it is what it is. So hey, well done.
It is what it is because that's the Patriots thing.
Yeah, so that's it. That's the show.
Yeah, we had fun doing it.
We had a great time, and as always, look, your takes, your hate mail, your suggestions, all the correspondence. Be sure you send them to us. We're on the Facebook. You hit us up on Dirt Digglers Shitty Sports Show on Facebook, right? But the I in shitty is 1. So I put that in there. You can get to us. We're on YouTube as Dirt Digglers Shitty Sports Show. You can get this material on YouTube if you're listening to it on Mixcloud or SoundCloud.
What?
And of course, we want to hear back from you, right? So you can hit us up on dirtdiggler2823@gmail.com or
KMP278@gmail.com.
right. Those are our email accounts. Hit us up. And like I said, we will take in your input. If you have something you want us to say on the air, we'll get it out there. Well, not really on the air, but something you want us to say on the show, we will get it up there. And if you have a dispute, like, I think you guys are smoking fucking dicks. This is what I think about this. And all right, cool. I can take your take and drag you to the gravel if that's what you want.
Yeah,
I'm all for that.
And nobody beats you down better with facts than me.
Yeah, and honestly, I'll tell you what, we'll one up it. We'll arrange a time to actually have you on the show just to discuss your shit. We'll get you on Google Hangouts so I can have my way with you there.
Yeah.
But don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. You have your takes. Defend your takes.
Yeah.
Defend your takes. We want to hear your takes. We're interested in your takes.
And then just let me disassemble them.
Just discuss.
I mean, I've been an intelligent Patriots fan for this long.
Yeah, he has. I will concur with that statement.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's like I go into social settings ready to defend my fanhood.
Agreed.
Yeah,
but
because you wear the jersey in public, like, your team's a bunch of dirty cheaters, and it's like, okay, here we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
So
hold my beer dirty.
All right, but you quit yourself well. So, like I said, it's usual, dude. It's been real.
It's been fun,
and it's been real fun. And so, Dirt Diggler
and the Dork
out.